Hello. Let me know that you can see and hear me. I see that 3 people are on. I just don't know which 3. Grab yourself a chair for the bar part of our exercise. We'll start standing. Have water. And we'll give it another minute or so. 2 minutes. So don't forget to let me know that you can see and hear me, starting in 1 minute. Hi, Sherry. I feel like I'm pacing. I'm walking forward and back and forward and back and forward and back. We'll be starting in 1 minute. We'll start standing and we'll use the chair. The chair is mostly for balance. All right, I have 6 o'clock, so I'm gonna get started. Let's see who else joined us. See that there are 3 people, but I don't know who. Okay, so that's weird. I think my phone is getting too full. All right, so let's start here, nice and tall, and roll forward and back on the feet. Get a little massage through the feet. We can use the chair for balance, but we don't want to put a lot of weight on the chair. So, and if this is the first time for many of you, which I know it is, just do what you're comfortable with, and the same 3 rules apply in this class. Keeping strong through the core, continue to breathe. I'm going to put one more light on. Never holding our breath, and smiling. So we're just going forward and back on our feet, getting a little massage. Hi, Bitsy, welcome. Little massage through the bottoms of our feet, right? As we roll forward and back. And then if you have a chair, you can have it close by, or you can have it even closer and just use it for balance. We're gonna lift up on the toes, pressing through the toes, the big toe especially, and then lower. Good, let's do that again. Requires a lot of balance, right? And then lower. One more time, pressing, and then lower. This time we're gonna sit back and then come back up. So it's just like a squat, right? Sitting back, make sure the knees stay above the ankles. Sitting back, come back up. Now we're gonna put those 2 together. So let's lift and lower and squat and lift. And lift, reach, lower the heels, sit back, come back up. One more, lift, lower the heels, sit back. Good, hold here. Using the chair for balance if you want. Nice and tall. Taking the right foot. We're gonna bring the right knee up. Knee and hip same height. And then lengthening that leg out as if we're trying to press our foot to the wall, and then come back. It's important that this knee stays as high as the hip, pressing out, lengthening. or higher, right? Not down here. You're gonna feel it. It's okay also to hold the leg up, right? And keep the core engaged. Stay nice and tall. Press, come back in. Press, come back in. Inhale, exhale. Get into a rhythm of breathing. Keep pressing out. We're gonna go 3 more. Press and lower. Press and bend. Press and bend. Good, let's switch to the other side. Lifting. So let me show you to the side so you know where we are with this. I want a right angle here, and I want my foot to be flexed, and I'm zipping, cinching in the waist for our posture. Lift the chest, shoulders back, pressing out. Press out. Press through the heel, flat foot. Press like we're putting a footprint on the wall. Press. We're going to go 5 more. So we don't want the knee down here. And if it's really getting tired and we can't keep the knee as high as the hip, I want you to hold it up. Let's go 2 more. Press, release, press, release, and lower. So we have sort of a theme that goes on with these classes. Last week we did a lot of glute stuff. Today we're going to be doing core. We always do core, right? That's Pilates. We're going to do quads, right? You'll feel it a lot in your quads and hip flexors. Every week we do something a little different. So let's take the right leg back up, okay? And now we're going to reach and point the toe and feel as if we're reaching that leg right in front of the mat. You can have the mat in the other direction, by the way. We're reaching, almost like our leg is getting longer, and we're going to touch the floor with our toes. The reach comes from the hip right through the leg, not the toes. We want the toes to somewhat stay relaxed, right? But stretch out that ankle. And then come back up. We can keep the foot relaxed and then reach. Tighten the thigh. Let's do that 10 times. Reach and bring it up. Now check back in on your posture. Belly pulled in, zipping up. The supporting leg is straight. So we're not just kind of lowering and lifting. We're lengthening, reaching and lifting. Lengthen and reach. Left leg is straight. Do not hyperextend that knee. You don't want to feel any pressure or tightening or stretching in the back of the knee. Okay, I think we did more than 10. Shake it out, shake, shake, shake. Okay, let's take the other side. Start with our knee up. Reach, come back up. So since we did more than 10 on that side, right, we always go a little faster on the other side because we've already got our form down. We get that out of the way with the first leg. I want you to reach down and tighten the thigh as if you're trying to lift the knee and press through the ankle at the same time. So pulling up through the pelvic floor is another way of helping our posture and keeping our core strength. Zipping, reach, shoulders back, keep that corset laced up. Let's go 2 more. Inhale and exhale. Never hold our breath. Smile. And so for those of you that are new to my class, the smile is really important because it helps us to relax our facial muscles and then in turn relaxes our exercises, what we're doing. So we don't need our facial muscles to be crunching up or grinding our teeth in order to work our leg. So smiling just relaxes our facial muscles. You can relax your facial muscles in another way, that's fine too, right? Let's take it to the other side. Bring that knee up. This time our foot is flexed again, and we're taking our leg out to the side. Feel free to balance or keep that chair close just as sort of a confidence thing. Hips stay forward, knee comes out. Keep the knee high. We're gonna go for 10. Out and in. And then bring it back to the center and lower down. Other side. Lift, flex the foot so we have right angles here all the way from the hip and take it out and in. If you're choosing to balance, just know that there's going to be more movement here. Keep the core engaged. as if we're lacing up a corset. Our corset is from our hips to our waist to our ribs, and lace it in like we're cinching in the waist and thereby getting a little taller through the waistline, lifting the ribs. Inhale, exhale. Good. And then come back to the center. Nice job. All right, so this is our bar part, right? Again, we do different things all the time. It's more convenient to start standing, so that's when we do our bar. But sometimes we start seated, and that's when we sort of do our Pilates. So we'll end in a seated, a lying down position this time, right? We may make our way back up before the end of class, but just so you know. Right leg comes out, reach and lengthen. And then before we start moving, we want to stay nice and tall, engage the core. Now we're going to bring this right knee in front, right where it's been before. This time the foot is relaxed. And then reach out, and then back in, and then out. When we bring it back in, the knee and ankle and hip are lined up together all the way to the shoulder, right? We're not bringing the knee to the shoulder. Everything's lined up on that side. Try not to lean too much. Keep that posture. Use the chair if you need to. Bring it up, tap it out. Bring it up. Little tiny taps. 2 more. 1 more. And hold here. Let's take it to the other side. Knee up, tap out. Knee up, tap out. Shoulders back, core. So right when we start an exercise, right? I fell over that time. I want you to right away think about your breathing and think about your core. 5, 6. There's no right way to breathe, but get an inhale and exhale as you exhale one of the movements, right? Inhale, exhale, or exhale, inhale. Right now, it doesn't really matter as long as you continue to breathe. Good. Let's take it back to the other side. I think we did 10 on that side. When I'm in a person-to-person class, people will be very happy to remind me that we've already done 10. So let's take our leg out. And so I want you to keep your hips and knees straight ahead. Sometimes when we lift the leg, our natural instinct is to turn the hip out and then the knee is pointing in that direction. I want you to keep it pointing straight ahead, so we're not lifting it very high. Hold here, point and flex the foot. Point and flex the foot. Belly pulled in, press through this foot. Shoulders back, cinch in the waist. 5, point. We point through the ankle. Try to keep the toes relaxed, right? Especially if we're one of those people that gets crampy feet. We don't want to curl or try to reach with the toes. It's actually reaching with the hip. 2 more. I think that's 12. So we're doing 10 or 12 in each side. Let's take the other side. Reach it out. Knee and hip stay straight ahead. Lift, point, and flex. Point and flex. Feel free to hold on. You can take your hands here. Check your waist, cinching up. Point and flex. Point and flex. Keep pressing through the right foot. Right leg is straight. Knee is soft. 2 more. 1 more. Let's do 1 more. 1 more. And lower down. Whew. Feet are parallel. Take a look at your own feet. Make sure the toes to the first 2 toes, the big toe and the next toe, are straight ahead. And our feet don't have to be together. They can be, though. They can be right under the hips. They can be a little closer. And we're just going to circle the hips. Not a big move. Circle. Keeping strong still through the core. We always want to stay strong through the core. And that's why I give you those reminders of either zipping or cinching. Let's go ahead and take it in the other direction. Circle. So we're keeping a plumb line, lengthening up. Sometimes I have people circling and they're really kind of moving a little too much. Really, we just want to kind of bring the hips around in a circle just to loosen up. And let's take it side to side, side to side. Good. Taking ourselves forward from the chair. And then just holding lightly to the chair, we're going to bring our right leg back, press through the left. We started out with both feet straight ahead, lengthening, cinch in the waist so we don't get an arch in the back, right? And then it's a very tiny movement because we have already gone back a lot. I want you to tighten the buttocks. Lift, tiny tap. Lift, tiny tap. Lift, tiny tap. Belly pulled in. Keep cinching the waist. Keep the knee as further forward as you can, right? Lift back and tap. Lift and tap. Lift and tap. 2 more. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Good. Now we will turn the hip out a little bit and bring the leg back at an angle. Now bring your hips back center. And we're bringing the leg back at that angle, just lifting. Tiny lift and lower. Tiny lift and lower. Inhale, stay tall. Inhale and exhale. Breathing, core strong, smiling. Just get into that rhythm. And 3, squeeze the buttocks. 2, 1, and lower down. Good. Switching to the other side. You can bring the chair over here, right? And then we start with the leg back. Knees are straight ahead, hips straight ahead. Tiny lift, squeeze the buttocks, tap the toe. So my toe is only coming off an inch. Make sure not to bend the knee and tap, right? This is about lifting, tiny bit, squeezing, and then check the posture, shoulders back. Squeeze and lower, squeeze, tiny taps, squeeze, tiny taps. 3, 2, 1. That leg is very strong here, good. Let's take it out at an angle. Now our leg is turned out a little, bring that hip back, and then squeeze back. Keep strong through the thighs. So in other words, we're not bending and straightening the knee, not even a little. It's really coming from here. We're lifting from the buttocks. Lift and lower. Keep pressing through the right foot. 5 more. 4 more. 3. Hello everyone. I'm glad you're all finding this class. And then, good, lower down. Nice. Let's just take the hips side to side. Stretching. Forward and back. Bring the hips forward and back. And then release. So I'm going to move my chair out of the way. We're going to get down to our mats for the Pilates portion. And again, some people have never done Pilates, so listening to your body, we're going to do some traditional things. Let's take it to the end of your mat. Traditional Pilates is roll down, chin first, and let the vertebrae roll down one at a time. As we roll down, I want you to still stay zipped up, and each vertebrae, as it rolls forward, we unzip for each bead, each vertebrae, letting our arms hang, letting ourselves go down slowly. Keep pulling in the belly button, scoop out that area. Hands come down to the mat. We'll walk out to a plank, holding in our plank. Lengthen the plank, right? So pressing through the heels. We want our hands to be underneath our shoulders. We want our shoulders to be wide. Not our hands necessarily to be wide, but our shoulders to be wide. Sometimes they end up around our ears or back. Bring them wide, bring them back. Holding, breathing. Let's go ahead and take ourselves down to our knees and stretch back. So one of the things that happens when we first start doing Pilates, maybe our neck and our wrists get tired. So always listen to that, right? So coming forward now, let's get a stretch through our wrists. We're on all fours. We're going to be working in our plank. So turning the right hand out. I want to make sure you can still see me, the whole mat. I'm going to just angle down a little bit more. And then let's stretch the other hand, turning it out. And then come back here. So shoulders wide, spread the fingers. If the wrists get tired, you can go ahead and press through the thumbs and the knuckles. So our first plank exercise is going from our hands to our forearms. So let's go ahead, get into our plank, pull the belly in tight. Let's lower our left arm down, lower our right into a forearm, our forearm plank. Then press up with the left, press up with the right. This is also, you can do this on your knees. Now we're going to lower down on the right, lower on the left, lift on the right, lift on the left. Lower down left, lower right, so we're alternating, right? Lift left, lift right. You can do it on your toes or your knees, or do a few on your toes, few on your knees. Lift, keep strong through the core, keep breathing. Let's do a few more. If you can, if you've had enough, go ahead and press back into a shell stretch. A lot of upper body work we're doing as well today, right? Pilates is a full body workout. Once you've had enough, let's go ahead and stretch back, reach our arms forward. So we all have different things going on. We're all trying to build strength together, but we may have shoulder issues that we have to really take care of. We don't want to work through that kind of pain if we've had muscle pulls or something like that. We want to work through the pain if the muscle is getting fatigued, and so know the difference. All right, we're going to take it to a tricep, to some push-ups. Bringing our hands together on the floor in sort of a V position, our index finger and our thumbs touching each other. And then holding here, we're on our knees. We can do these on our regular plank as well too, with our under our toes, but right now I want you to try it with on your knees. And then we're going to shift forward and lower our chest right where that V, right where that little diamond shape is, and then come back up. Our elbows are coming out to the side, and then come back up. You don't have to go down very far. I just want you to get the proper form. Keep strong through the core. Press up. Down. Press up. Belly stays tight. 3 more if you can. 2 more. 1 more. I'm just looking if I have any comments from anyone. And then good, pressing back. Let's go ahead and take our elbows to the mat and our hands to the back of our neck, little pressing through the back of our neck, little pat on the back. And then coming up, tricep push-ups. So now I want your hands spread on the floor this way, middle finger reaching the top, angling to the top, I should say, middle finger. Because we don't want our elbows to come out to the side this time. We want them to come back towards our body. So watch me. I'm going to shift forward this time. I'm bringing my hands a little further forward because I want to be able to shift forward more. But my forearms stay perpendicular to the floor. I'm going to shift forward so that my elbows touch my ribs. And then I'm going to come back up. Okay? Try it if you can. Shift forward, elbows are in towards your ribs, press back up. If it's really hard to do, you're doing it right. Let's shift forward, inhale, and exhale. 2 more if you can. Let's get 3 to 5 of those in. Bring those elbows back, not out to the side. Should be able to touch your arm to your side body here. Right, your elbow, if your elbow doesn't touch your ribs exactly, you're aiming for it to touch your ribs. Good, let's send our hips back and breathe. Good, nice. That's enough of those, right? So let's come forward on our mat. So this exercise is for the thighs. Remember I said we were working our thighs. So, we're not going to stay here, but this is the position that we can start in. And then watch me first. We're starting nice and tall, zipping reaching the arms up, strong through the core. And now I'm going to hinge the hips, send the tailbone and sit bones back so that we're nice and straight from the tailbone right through the crown of the head. And then lowering, lowering, lowering. Stay strong. Keep zipping the core. When we get almost to our heels, we're going to curl, do a pelvic tilt under so just the lower back is curled, and then lift with our thighs, coming all the way up, okay? Shoulders back. Let's hinge the hips, lower, and curl under and lift with the thighs. Good. We're going to go for 10. Lower, lengthen, lengthen. When we almost hit the heels, curl under and lift with the thighs. Good. Lengthen, 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 strong. We're cinching in that waist and curl under, lift with the thighs. Good. Straight back. Curl the hips, pelvic tilt, lifting with the thighs all the way up straight. Good. Bend at the hips, straight spine. Lower, lower, lower. Curl at the hips and lift with the thighs. When you need a break, take a break. Lower, curl under, and lift all the way up. Lift the chest, cinch in the waist. Lower, lower, lower. Get a full inhale and exhale. Let's go 2 more. I think that's about 10, right? Lower, lower, lower. But remember, listen to your body always, always. I want you to get to that point where you're really challenging yourself, but not overdoing it, okay? And that's hard to tell sometimes. We might not know it till tomorrow. Good. Once you finish your 10, let's go ahead and lay forward onto the mat. We're going to bend our knees and just take our knees and legs side to side. I should say our hips and feet side to side, right? Just to loosen up and then lower down. Good. Taking our arms forward and our legs in the other direction so our thighs and our knees are facing the mat. And let's lift our right arm and our left leg only an inch or 2. And it's more about lengthening and then lower. We're going to do the same thing with the other side. Before you lift, I want you to pull the belly button in tight and then lift. The head comes up a little bit with the arm that's lifted and then lower. Let's pull the belly button in. Let's tighten the glute of the leg that is lifting and then reach and then lower. Pull the belly in, reach. Tighten the glute on the other side and lower. Keep the belly pulled in. Inhale, reach and lower. Inhale, reach and lower. 3 more each side. Keep the belly pulled in. Keep the hips down and lower. Inhale, reach. It's more about lengthening to the front and back of the room and lower. Inhale, exhale. Nice smooth breathing. Inhale, reach, lengthen and lower. Good. Inhale, reach and lower. Inhale, reach and lower. I think we have 1 more. And lower. Good. Let's press our hands next to our chest, pull the belly in, and shell stretch. So shell stretch is where we're scooping in the belly really, really tight, as if we're hollowing out that belly button area. We're reaching back, and our hips are going back towards our heels and not necessarily on our heels, right? Keeping and looking for a stretch through the back, through the arms. We're coming forward. We're going back onto our bellies. Taking our arms out off the corner of the mat and our legs off the corner of the mat. So the last exercise, we were straight up and down. And if you were to think of our body shape, we were shape of an H, right? Now we're the shape of an X. Nose towards the mat. Tighten the buttocks. Pull the belly button off the mat as if we're pulling it off the mat. And reaching in opposite direction. So we're reaching, lengthening the spine, and reaching through the arm and the leg. Keep breathing here, and then lower. Take it to the other side, tighten the buttocks, reach and lengthen. Keep breathing and lower. Let's do that 5 more times on each side. Remember to keep pulling in the belly to lift the leg and arm. Pull the belly in a little tighter to lower, or at least just keep it pulled in strong. Maybe cinch in right around like we're tightening a belt right around. Keep switching sides, lengthening. Again, it's about reaching and lengthening. You want to keep your hips on the floor. Head comes up a little with the arm that's lifting. Using your breath, using your smile, using that core strength. Think about initiating everything we do from our core. And if you don't know what I mean by that, eventually you will, because I want you to think about the core before you make any move. Even if we're moving continuously, think about that core. And eventually, not only is the core going to get stronger, but it's also you're going to feel how you're using it to move everything that we do. All right, let's see where we are. Let's take it to our side lying. I'll take it this way. All the way down, reaching. Oh, you know what? Before we do this, let's do a traditional Pilates exercise. We're going to take it to the 100. Everybody has to learn how to do the 100. We all have to do one, our very first one first, right? And the 100 is a base exercise, and it will help us to learn how to get stronger. Once we have this base exercise once under our belt, then we can see how we get stronger over the days and weeks and months that we do Pilates. So if you're new, you can keep your feet on the floor just like this, hands down by our side. The arms and legs, we all do the same, right? So we're going to pull the belly in, lift our shoulders, but not too high, because I want the back of the shoulders on the mat. Reach your hands past your hips. The chin is tucked but not all the way to our chest. And then we start pumping our hands this way. We do 100 count with 5 inhale, a count of 5 inhale, count of 5 exhale. So again, you can keep your feet down if you're new. You can have one foot up and you can kind of switch if you're new as well, right? There are many different ways. If you're lifting both legs, I want you to pull the belly in and keep it strong, strong, strong. Lift one leg, lift the other, keeping strong through the core. Low back stays on the floor here. So if you can't keep the low back down, keep an imprint in the low back, like we're imprinting the spine on the mat. Then go ahead and slowly lower one leg and hold here. Usually when we have our legs lifted, we want to make sure we imprint the spine. So another way to have the legs, you can have them up here. This might feel better, right? Or you can angle them out a little. Or you can slowly move to another position. If the knees are tucked in, it's easier to keep your low back on the floor, right? So it's all about just learning our form today, especially if you're new. Don't worry about that you're doing it right or doing it wrong. Just want you to stay strong, stay breathing, and just go natural with the exercise, as natural as you can for the first time. You always have to give it 3 classes. All right, so enough talking from me. Let's find your position for your 100. Legs, leg position. And then everybody's going to pull the navel down a little tighter, lift the head and shoulders, reach your hands past your hips, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 10. Inhale. Exhale. So the padding comes from the shoulders. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 30. Hands are close to the mat. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 50. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 50. I skipped 10. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 60. 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull the belly down a little tighter. 70. Inhale. 3, 4, 5. If the neck is getting tired, you can put the head down or put a hand behind your head. 80. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull the belly down tighter. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 100. Stop pumping. Lift a little higher. Hug those legs in and lower the head and shoulders. Whew. Great job. Whew. How'd you do for your first 100? Or maybe it's not your first, but I'm sure you did great. And so while I'm saying that, let's go ahead and take our head to one side, nice and easy, breathing, and bring it to the other side. So I'd like you to, if you can, send me an email of how you did in class or what you're doing. Like if you're walking or if you're doing any other kind of exercise, I'd like to know what you're doing, or maybe you're doing yard work, right? Because then I can focus on those things for your class. I can really cater it to what's going on in your life. So please, if you get a chance and if you can, just go ahead and send me an email and update me on what you're doing. You can tell me what you're eating too. You can tell me that you're eating potato chips, and I promise I won't tell anybody. So just tell me what's going on with you, okay? So then we can make this class even better, because I like to know who I'm teaching to and what they're capable of. So we have our knees tucked in still. Let's just take it side to side. This can be a beautiful sort of massage acupressure through our hips, through our back. Then hold it center. Let's circle around in one direction. Feet and knees are together. Circle in the other direction. Lowering one foot, lower the other. Always stay controlled here through the core. Now let's take ourselves to the side. Lengthening out. So we're stacking our hips, right? Stacking our shoulders. That means we don't want our shoulders rolling forward or our hips rolling back or forward, right? And then taking this bottom leg, take both legs. Let's take them both forward at an angle, a little bit of an angle so our feet are coming off the corner, but where the rest of our body is the length of the mat. We want a nice long neck as well. So if your arm can be straight or it can be bent just to make your neck comfortable, this hand in front can help to support. Let's take this top leg up, lift, and tap down just gently right in front of the front toes, the bottom leg. Lift and lower. Lift, keep the knees forward. Sometimes the tendency, and it's not it's just a different exercise, but you may want to turn your leg out. The other thing I want you to do is try not to have any movement through the torso. So even here, we're cinching in the waist as if we're pulling the waist off the mat. Lift and lower. Lengthen this leg, tight, tight thigh. Lengthen, like we're trying to reach right to the wall. Lengthen. Belly pulled in. Reach and lower. Reach and lower. 2 more. Inhale. Keep that waist off the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Whew. Hold here. Tap the toe. Nice and easy. Tap the heel. Tap the toe in front. Tap the heel. Now, minimize any movement of the hips. Tap the toe. The only thing that's moving is the hip, but not the torso forward and back. Just tapping and tapping. Stay engaged, stay zipped, pull the waist. Tap and tap. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. 1 more. Oh dear, we're running out of time. Let's bring our knees up here. So our shins are parallel with the side of the mat. Our toes are off a little bit, so we have that right angle back. And then let's cinch in the waist, shoulders back, lengthen the spine. Take this top leg out in front. So the thighs are still lined up together. And now we're going to lift and tap. Again, not a lot of movement in the torso like this. Just lift the leg and tap, going slow. Inhale, control, reaching. Reach from the hip, Lengthen the thigh, lengthen the calf, lengthen the ankle. Lift and lower. It's hard sometimes to do the exercises slow and controlled. Sometimes we go through a little faster. And then once we get to 10 here, I want you to tap the toe 10 times, little tiny taps to the floor. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bend. It's okay to get a little massage, a little punch in those muscles. It kind of shocks the muscle to relax. Good. And then let's flip over to the other side. Getting some good hip work. This is definitely our barre, but I've done this exercise with our Pilates as well. Let's bring both legs forward. Take that top leg up and tap in front. Inhale, keep the waist. Sometimes when we lift the leg, our waist wants to cinch down. I want you to stay strong through the core. Inhale and exhale. Lift, tap down. Lift, tap down. Stay zipped. Shoulders back. 5, 4, 3. If you already hit 10, that's fine. 2, 1. Tap the toe, tap the heel. So careful not to bend the knee here, right? So it's not here and here. It's lengthening and coming from the hip. From the hip, lengthen. Lengthen, tap. Good. Keep that waist as if we're pulling it right off the mat. Even if we feel the flesh still on the mat, keep cinched through the waist. And it's as if I would see your spine from behind and it's straight and it's not sinking where your waist is. Good. Let's hold here. Bend both knees. Shins parallel to the floor, to the mat. And then bring that top leg out. So right now, they're lined up, the thighs are lined up together. And then readjust, engage the core, cinch the waist, and lift, tap down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. You've got 5. Check the waist, check the breath, check the smile. 6, 7, 8, nice smooth breathing. 9, 10, hold here, little taps. 10, 9, 8, 7, check your posture. 8, 9, 10, and bend it in, a little massage here through the hip, through the legs. Good, we're flipping over onto our backs. Okay, so bridge pose, walking our feet back, hands down by our side, and lift our hips. So we want our weight to be on our shoulders and on our feet. Let's lift our hips. We can tighten our buttocks to get our hips higher. We don't want the weight or to feel like the weight's going down onto our neck or our head, right? So we're going to take a march here. We're going to keep our hips right where they are as best we can, and we're going to lift our right leg, lift our left, shoulders taking the weight. Not too much weight on our head at all. March, march, stay zipped. Even here, we think gravity's doing the work. Stay cinched through the waist. Stay zipped. Let's take 2 more. 1 more. And then roll down from the top of the spine. Right? Lower spine. Tailbone comes down last. All right, how'd you do with that? We're going back up into our bridge. Walk those feet back. And the reason we want to walk our feet back is because we don't want our feet here. And if we lift up, then our knees are not over our ankles, right? We want our shins to be perpendicular to the floor so that we have more support. So, lifting into our bridge, press through your feet, press through your shoulders, hands down by our side. Let's take the right leg up or the left. Doesn't matter, we're going to do both. Send those hips higher, shoulders pressing down. Let's tighten the thigh and lower. Thigh meets thigh right there. And then come back up. Lower and lift. Keep reaching. Keep that glute The leg that's on the floor, that glute is pressing up. Press through that foot. We've got one more. Lower and lift and bend. Other side. Reach. Lengthen. Press through the heel. Press through this hip, the other hip, and then lower and lift. Again, we're reaching from the hip. We're getting longer in the leg. 3, 2, use your breath, and lower. Press both feet into the mat. Press the hips high. Roll down as if we're trying to put one bead at a time onto the mat and lengthen our legs out. Arms overhead, stretching in opposite directions. Keep breathing. Let's get a big inhale and stretch. Big exhale. Keep stretching. 2 more, just like that. Inhale, stretch from the waist, right through our hips, right through our shoulders. 1 more time. Inhale, keep reaching. Exhale, keep reaching. And lower down. Whew. Hugging our legs in. And then this time, fingers towards the feet, circle around away from each other, and then circle in the other direction. And then let's rock and roll to seated. We're going to come right over onto all fours. And I think we're going to make our way, yes we are, to standing. Let's get a little cat and cow first, just to kind of limber up the spine. Maybe feel a nice stretch through our muscles of our back, or our hips, or our neck. And then holding here, roll the toes under and find a V here. So right now, I think my back is kind of rounded. What I'm going to do is shift my pelvis, let my head drop, and look for a nice straight spine. You can have your heels off the mat. They don't have to be on the mat, right? You might be feeling a beautiful stretch already. This is a great stretch for the back of the body. Bending the knees, look towards the front of the mat, walk towards the front of the mat. So and then rolling up, head comes up last. Oftentimes we take our time rolling up. What I want us to do is stretch our quads a little, okay? Because we did work the quads. You can use your chair, bring your chair back if you want, or bring your heel back, bring your foot back, right? Keeping the knee and foot lined up with the hip, and see if you can press the foot into the hand and get the space between your foot and your glutes a little wider, right? And at the same time, stay tall. But feel free to take it over a little, right? This would be, now we're going into our yoga. But what I don't want is this leg coming out, okay? And that's why if you want the chair, it can be very helpful just to get that stretch, not have to worry about balancing. Nice and tall, press that foot back, maybe, right? Send the hips forward, lengthen, pull the belly in, let's lower down. Other side. Stretching, lengthening, breathing, keep zipping. Gotta love that zipper. Love that corset, love that zipper. Shoulders back. I've had clients that have gotten taller after doing Pilates, because their posture got better, right? We actually are trying to create space between the vertebrae. That's not a lie. And then lower down. Good. All right, to the front. Inhale, exhale and reach. And just like we did when we were on the mat, keep reaching, keep inhaling. And exhale, see if you can pull the ribs up a little higher off the waist. Inhale and exhale and lower down. Beautiful. Let's take an inhale. Exhale. Roll your shoulders back and down. Keep them there. And great job. See you next week. Please, if you get a chance, to send me an email, or at least just send me a little message here and let me know how you did. You can do the email at another time and let me know how you did, or if you like the class, or any ways we can make it better, right? Combination Barre Pilates is a wonderful thing. All right, thank you. Bye, everyone. See you next time.